All right, so I hope you have a laptop or might be a computer or might be a mobile. So have you ever think that there is a particular IP address which is assigned to your device? How actually it is happening? Who is behind that? Who is responsible for assigning the IP addresses? So here is the concept, the DSCP, which is one of the process to allocating the IP address dynamically so that these addresses are assigned automatically. Now, this works on the concept of DORA. Now, what is DORA? So stands for discover, O stands for offer, R stands for request, and A stands for acknowledgement. So we have taken this example. Let's here is the client and here is the DSCP server. Now client don't have any IP address, and obviously the DSCP server is going to assign a IP address. But how actually the communication is going to happen? So number one, the client is going to discover, it will broadcast itself that for the IP address, and it will ask that could you could anyone give me an IP address. So once this request, or you can say the discover, is going to be DSCP server, then it will whatever the broadcasted received from this client, he is going to offer one of the IP address. So see here, one of the IP address is offered by DSCP server. What he is saying, yes, do you want to use this IP address? So here is the offer, DSCP offer. Now at the third point, what is happening? The client is requesting that, yeah, can I use this IP address? He is broadcasting again and he is asking, can I use this IP address? Right? So once it will go through this DSCP server, it will acknowledge it. What he will acknowledge? Yes, you can use this IP address. So basically, what we're talking about the DORA is discover, offer, request, and acknowledgement. I hope this concept is clear that how actually the communication is happening. Now, DSCP uses two different ports. For UDP port, you can say for server, it is 67, and for client, it is port number 68. Now we have the DSCP starvation attack. So here is a diagram. We can see there is one client, there is some legitimate DSCP server, and here is the attacker. Now in starvation attack, what the attacker is going to do, he will particularly use the denial of service, you can say, right? DOS attack. He will do the DOS attack with the help of MAC addresses, right? So initially what is happening, the client is requesting the IP address to DSCP server. Definitely he has the some MAC address, right? The client having some MAC address and he is requesting to DSCP server. But in the middle of it, what is happening? There is lot of fake MAC addresses which is sent by the attacker. Means the DDoS attack is happening, and due to that, what is happening? Whoever the MAC address is coming, DSCP server is very busy to assigning the IP addresses to these MAC addresses, right? He is not assigning the IP to that legitimate client. Why? Because there is lot of, you can say, lot of bogus, lot of fake MAC addresses which is suddenly come, and he becomes very busy to assign all those IP to him. So what will happen? This is going to be in the waiting list until and unless all these, you can say, the MAC addresses get the IP, right? So this is what the starvation attack. Now you can do the starvation attack with the help of different tools, like one of the example is Gobbler. There is one of the tool. If you want, you can use it for the DSCP starvation attack. Now let's understand the rogue DSCP server attack. If you remember in the previous, in this one, we were trying to send the MAC addresses, right? Now what we will do, we will directly send the IP addresses to client, right? Here we were stopping. Here we were stopping a DSCP server to send IP addresses to this because we were sending a lot of MAC addresses. But here what is happening? The attacker is reacting itself as a DSCP server in spite of the legitimate. This one is the legitimate, but attacker is showing himself or herself as a DSCP server. So whatever the requested, discover, offer, request, and means the DORA concept, right? The DORA concept you can say is going to happen from DSCP client to this rogue DSCP server, which is the attacker server. This one is the attacker server, correct? I hope this is very clear. Here we are just doing one thing, that we are showing itself, the attacker is showing itself as a legitimate DSCP server in spite of actual DSCP server. So this is the rogue DSCP server attack. Now the question is how we can defend against DSCP starvation and rogue server attack. Now for DSCP starvation attack, we can enable port security to defend against DSCP starvation attack. So by enabling the port security, that will be one of the mitigation for DSCP starvation attack. And if we talk about the rogue server attack, then we can enable DSCP snooping. Uh, so what will happen when we will enable DSCP snooping? Due to that, it will allow switch to accept DSCP transaction directed from a trusted port. So whatever the trusted port, it will receive from there directly. So these are the two mitigation for DSCP starvation and rogue server attack.